A very good morning to you. Happy New Year. Welcome to Jam 316 Financial Clinic. First show, first day of 2020. We do appreciate the Lord for this far He has brought us. You know, some of us had no idea whether we would see this new year, but here we are today. And so we have something to be grateful to God for, that He has given us the opportunity to step into a brand new year. And I believe this is going to be a great year because I believe God has some great things in store for us. Now, every Wednesday, we talk about money. We talk about your money. And today, as we begin the year together, I'm asking the question, do you have a financial plan for 2020? Or are you just going to go through 2020? What will be, you know, I really don't know what will happen. I really don't have a plan. I'm just believing God. Whatever will come my way, I give thanks. Or do you have a plan or where you want to go with your finances? That's what we're going to be looking at this morning as we talk about creating a financial plan for 2020. I will be introducing our guest to us in the next short while and inviting your questions. If you have any questions, 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. It's the Jam 316 Financial Clinic. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you know somebody who wants a better control of their finances in this year, you need to call them up and tell them to listen. I know our discussion today will be beneficial to them. So, my guest this morning, my first guest in 2020 is Wahome Ngari from Citadel Consulting. How are you doing?
I'm quite well, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Great time to be together.
I'm excited.
Yes, I'm also excited. We thank God
yes.
for the opportunity to be here at this hour.
Awesome.
Yes.
When we talk about a financial plan, what exactly are we talking about?
When we talk about a financial plan, we're simply saying this is a roadmap of the things I intend to do in the new year, 2020. So it's simply just like laying the path and saying, this is where I'm going to follow. I mean, if you were on the road and you started in Nairobi, here at the studio, and you're going to Nakuru, you map out the route you follow.
Definitely.
So that you know, I need to turn here, there's a hill here, this is a straight place, it's foggy here, so that then you have the necessary tools to carry you through. So it's just a roadmap of how we are going to manage our income, what expenses we're going to have, what spending we have, and what investments we might need to put together. That's what a financial plan is.
Okay. Yes. Is a financial plan something that everybody should create, or is it just for those who have a lot of money? They don't know how much money they have, so they have to create a plan.
It's a nice thing to have a question like that in New Year. And the question is simple. Again, is there anybody who's got a lot of money? What do we call a lot of money? And surprisingly, everybody's got money, and they actually have expenses. If you have an income, you have expenses. You need to manage that. You might have goals you want to achieve. You might have bills that you have to pay. So anybody who's got resources and they are responsible for those resources, then needs a plan. So a plan is for everybody.
Okay.
Because we cannot get into tomorrow without really thinking about it. And the plan helps us as a roadmap to know how do we get there, what do we require, what do we save, what do we spend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You know, I'm just thinking for that kawaida person, they may think, you know, I really don't have control over my salary.
Yes.
Kamshara ni kale kale. We love saying this. Kamshara ni kale kale tu kadogo. So why plan for it, really? See, it's not like wataniongeza or anything. So you feel like you're almost in a place where you're defeated, so there's no need to plan.
Yes.
What would you tell an individual like that?
I'll say this. Kama ni kale kale, what is yours is yours. And what is yours is what is going to do the things that are yours. And you see, it's kale kale for everybody. You know, the person with 5,000 thinks this is kidogo. The person with 20 thinks is kidogo. Another person, 100 is kidogo. Another, and actually $1 million is kidogo. So we all, it's a mindset. How do I get the best of what I have?
Okay.
The way to get the best of what I am having is actually to plan for it.
Yes.
And as I plan for it, and we're going to see that shortly, I must also ask myself, if it is little, can I do something to increase it? Because that might be part of the plan. Yes.
Okay.
Because I am not happy in kidogo, but who's responsible for increasing it? It's not necessarily all the time that it is our employer. And we must understand our employer in a capitalist environment is looking at their input and their output. Now, they cannot spend all the money paying the workers because we set up enterprises for profit.
For profit.
And that's the reality.
Yeah.
But what I'm given is mine. In fact,
Yes.
they don't come to ask questions. It's a very interesting thing.
Uh-huh.
When I buy a phone, they give me a user's manual.
Yeah.
When I buy a laptop, they give me a user's manual.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the first day they paid me, nobody gave me a user's manual. And I've never seen anybody with a user's manual.
Yeah.
They leave it to you to spend how best you know. And how best you know is what you're calling your plan.
Your plan.
Yes. Whether you have it in writing, whether you have it in your mind, you have a plan. Everybody's got a plan.
Okay.
Just that sometimes we don't think we have a plan.
Uh-huh.
Because when you get the money, whether it comes into the bank or whether you're given in cash, whether you're given in an envelope, there is a moment you stand and say, what will I do with this money? What is it capable of doing? What is
Yes.
it not capable of doing? That's planning.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you say somebody who comes up with a plan for their money, by the time we get to the end of 2020, if God allows us to get there, they will be at a better place financially than the person who didn't have any plan at all?
That's a given.
Okay.
That's a given.
Uh-huh.
We must start there. If you're planning ahead,
Yeah.
there are chances that you get there better than the person who did not plan. If I hit the road here again, just to go to Nakuru and
Yeah.
have no plan,
Yeah.
I'll hit the road with most traffic because I didn't check. So I'll spend much more time
Yeah.
on that. I might go the longest route because I didn't even check that this road that the construction is going on, this one is closed.
Yeah.
And I ended up on the closed one. When you check ahead, you actually have bound to have a better trip down
Yes.
there. The same
Yes.
thing. If you're planning for your money, and planning for having a plan is really taking charge. Is anybody who doesn't like taking charge? Because if you're taking charge,
Yeah.
you're going to get there a much better person.
Okay.
And you might actually feel, yeah, I've gotten where I wanted to be. But
Wow.
if you not plan where you're going, like we always say, if you don't have a route, any route will take you to nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find in your circles that a lot of people actually sit down and have a plan for their finances? Or is it a small amount of people?
What I find interesting is whether you work for government, national government, local government, corporates,
Yes.
church organization, NGO, everybody knows those organizations plan.
Yeah.
Wherever we work,
Yeah.
even when we are on a construction site, we know the owner of the site actually plans. Sometimes we hire people who've been trained to do planning,
Yes.
people who've been trained to do finances, but chances are most of those organizations we're talking about have more resources than us.
Yes.
Why do they plan? Yet they have all these resources. If you want to get the best of what you have, then planning becomes necessary. And what I found out is a lot of people start by not planning.
Yeah.
Then they realize this is got to be a challenge because there are things that are going to be done. And people either seek financial literacy to understand how to do it, or you sit with somebody who understands this. But nature forces us to get into planning.
Yes.
Because you will never have enough.
Okay.
And so we must plan with what we have.
Okay.
Yes.
So this morning, let's talk to that person who has never thought of creating a financial plan.
Okay.
You know, it's just hand to mouth.
Yes.
Ile iko ndio unatumia. Kama
Yeah.
haiko pia,
Yeah.
it's okay. Life
Yeah.
goes on.
Okay.
But they're listening to us today, they're watching us today, and they're thinking, maybe I should try that.
Yes.
Where does one start?
I think it's a simple thing to do, and we just borrow from the corporate world because these people have done it, it's worked. We follow from the nation and all the other. The first thing is we must ask ourselves, what resources do I have at hand which I want to manage? And when you're looking at resources, we like looking at it two-way.
Okay.
We're looking at income when I'm talking about resources
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And I'm looking at my income, and my income can be separated into two. Now, there's what we call active income. And this is the money that I generate by my involvement.
Okay.
If I'm an employee, I might get a salary, I might get a retainer. If I'm a salesman, I might get commission. I'm a professional, I will make some fee. I'll charge people some fee.
Yeah.
And if you can actually see it, I'm in business, I make some business profits like that. I'm a farmer, I make some profits from my farm. It's good to actually project outward and say, so what am I likely to be working with here? Some have certainty, some have no uncertainty.
Okay.
So that's the starting point. So we have an idea, what are we managing? The second thing we look at, we have definite costs. As I start 2020, I have definite costs.
Yes.
I have rent to pay, and I actually know my rent largely. Okay? And if I
Yes.
hope to move house along
Yes.
the way, I
Yeah.
think I have an idea when I'm likely to move house. If you look at upkeep, maintenance, my power bill, my water bill, I have an idea. From last year, I know.
Yes.
what I've been spending.
Yes.
School fees, schools are generous. They actually give you a schedule ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
So you have a complete clear idea. If I have standing commitments, I have a mortgage, I have a SACCO loan, I have CHAMA. You see, I know those things. So I can actually even tabulate them because I know them. The
Very
resources
true.
I have is what I'm going to use to achieve those. So now we have looked at the resources and we have looked at standing commitments. Now the second thing we look at, we have things we want to achieve. We can call them financial goals. And when we're looking at financial goals, we like breaking them on time zones into 3 definite categories.
Okay.
They are short-term goals, things we want to achieve in 2020 because that's appropriate that we do them within 1 year. And we can look at examples. And if you think about these things, when you think about them, it doesn't take long to actually actualize them. If I wanted, say, to buy an item of furniture or change furniture in the house, it's unlikely to take me 3 years. From the point you conceive it to point you're done. If you think about electronics, if I want to buy a phone, I want to change my TV, it doesn't take that long. Items of cutlery, when Mama decides we need to have hizi za wageni, it doesn't take that long. Maybe it takes 1 chama and we are there. Sometimes we have debts that really we can't keep for long. I have school fees arrears, and I know the consequences of not paying it. I might have rent arrears that I've not paid. I need to clear. I might have a very, very pressing debt. And I can see the interest rates they're charging. This thing, I'm better off
clearing it and forgetting about it.
So you see, we now have looked at, we have electronics we might want to buy, we have items of furniture, we actually might have debts. We also might have savings that we have seen. This savings needs to be done. My child this year has come into class 8. So what happens early next year? Form 1. Nowadays, what do we know? Just before Christmas, we have the results. We have to go to Form 1. Do we have any other time to prepare for that? No. So we have savings to do. So those are what are likely to be our goals for 2020, depending on who. I mean, they can vary from person to person. And we focus on those. And as we focus on those, we always say it's nice to actually get everybody in the house involved, and we write them down if we can.
Oh, even the children.
Even the children. You know, children are planning on your money.
Daddy, I need
a bike. How long can you keep that bike unbought?
I'm telling you, it becomes an issue.
Daddy, I need a toy.
Yes,
you see, when you look at those things, they are planning on it. Okay, Mama has a plan, I have my plan. What if we did these things together and we write them out? And as we write them out, it would help actually if we said, this is how much it's going to cost us.
I love what you're sharing. I love what you're sharing because I find it very interesting. We are so secretive about our money and how much I earn. You know, I know of couples, the wife has no idea how much the husband earns. You know, and bringing this conversation in the open and even involving the kids, I think it's also setting up our kids to pick up habits about money.
Because money lessons are not lessons you go to school. Money lessons, like most lessons for children, are things we learn by what we see, by what we experience. If money is a taboo in our family, money will be a taboo in our life. We will never talk about it. We will have issues about it. If money is a tool for power, even us, when we get money, we will actually use it as a tool for power. So it is important for parents to train the children by involving them. And I'll say that's a whole topic which we can be able to look at. But we need to involve our children because they are planning on our money. And so we have seen what is 2020, but that's not all. Because there is life after 2020. So we are hopeful. We have 2021 and on. And it's good to look at 5 years ahead. Now, 2020 to 2024. There are things we want to do within that time, and we might need to start now. We want, as a family, to buy a plot, which we like buying plots. Now, we might not buy the whole of it. Maguta. So if you think about it, we might not be able to buy all that now, but we need to start thinking about it, because maybe we need to raise the deposit this year, or we need to start saving in the SACCO, or we need to take a loan in the SACCO and start paying slowly over time. we might actually sit as a family and see the way movement is for us, we're having a challenge. What if we bought a small family car? Again, we cannot do that in 1 year, but we might do that in 3 years. So we have things we are looking at in a 5-year period. We might have decided as a family, maybe it's a good thing for us to take a trip. We've always been wishing to go to the Holy Land.
Yeah.
And we see people in church are organizing this trip and this trip, and we wish. But you can't wake up one day and say, okay, here I go. Maybe the resources are not there. Or we can plan ahead and we say, okay, it's going to cost us so much, and we can do this in 3 years, but we can start saving this much little over time. We want to start a business. We have seen the need to have another income stream, but we don't have the capital, and we need to raise the capital. Now, those are things, if you conceptualize them, they are 5 years. I might actually see from where I am, I need more money. What do I need to? What do I do to get more money? I might need to go back to college. You know, my bachelor's degree, or my master's degree, or this professional qualification, or mama needs to do this course, because that way they are going to get a promotion or a pay rise or a better job, so that we increase our pay back at the end of the month. Remember, sometimes we said it's not enough. When it's not enough, we plan how to increase it. And those things, if you are going to take, say, a bachelor's degree, you know, it's a 4-year journey. So we have to factor in that. So we now looked at the 5 years, and for each of those things, we are saying to ourselves, what is it likely to cost us? And when do you think we can be able to start this, and when can we be able to end it? Okay? But as we do that, we must never lose sight of long-term goals.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
the long-term goals don't ask us, they actually show up one day and they demand attention.
Wow.
Think about it. If God grants you life, you will have to retire. Retirement doesn't just come one day and say, I am here.
No.
No. It's a journey.
It's a
And when you're concentrating now on the short one, you remember the ones we said for 2020, the phone, the cutlery, we will forget, we will retire.
Yeah. In fact, we never remember we will retire.
Yes, we will. And you see, government and employers are somehow very magical. When you get your first job at 22, they force you into NSSF because they know one day you will need it. And so if we have this in mind, it may not necessarily be that we will focus on everything now, but we can do small things that can actually help us start preparing for retirement. It doesn't have to be complicated things. It might be at my place of work, there is an option to join a pension scheme, and I say, okay, now this year, I'll make sure I subscribe to the pension scheme. Or it could be the plot I wanted to buy, that Maguta plot, can actually be part of my retirement program, because on that plot, when I buy it, now I can put in some little rental houses. So, you see, we're thinking ahead. Remember what we said, we are thinking ahead, because we don't think ahead. Now, one day, our employer will write us that nice letter. It is called reference, tired. Then we read it, retired.
Retired? Yes.
And then, you know, now, if you have planned for it, then it gets easier. Those are what are called long-term. They don't take a day, they don't take 2 days. They may take 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, 35 years for some of the people. Now, one of the other long-term goals we should not forget, if God has given you the grace of having children, remember, they will go to college one day.
Oh, yeah.
And like they generally say, they are not stones placed on them.
No.
So when you get to 2020, they are grown 1 year. When they turn 18 or thereabout, prepare for them. They go to college. What should be wrong with thinking about that ahead of time? And saying to yourself, I've got my 2-year-old daughter, lovely daughter. I don't know what course they will ever take, but maybe I need to prepare for this and start my savings little by little. I might buy an insurance contract, because that is possible. It might be my rental property again, remember? Because rental income can also pay school fees. It could be my small business, you know, the things that were short-term and now I'm expanding them. And he's saying, let us not forget that. Because if we forget, one day this person will come with a grade A, and they will actually tell you, I want to do medicine. Now what do you do? And medicine money is not money you can raise in a day. We can guarantee you tutakuja, hatutakataa, lakini tutakula mingi kuliko ile tutachanga.
Wow.
Because now you can actually see the things we need to plan about. As we have retirement we need to plan for. we have children's higher education we need to plan for.
Yeah.
We might actually also need to plan for the house that we own. Because life is interesting. When you get to about 25, 26, you move out.
Yeah.
When you move out, you get a new article on your bill that is called rent. Okay? Now, that article doesn't drop out until you leave the face of the earth, unless you have your own place.
Unless you have your own place.
And landlords are gracious people. They don't ask you for age. All they say, you leave this month, you pay.
Yeah.
So even when I turn 90, they will still ask for their money. When you turn 100 and something, they will still ask for their money. And if God gracious gives you life from 25 and you live to be a century, and that's a possibility,
Yes.
those are 75 years of paying rent. Is there a possibility around that? Can we start planning, thinking about home ownership? You see now why Prot Maguta is important?
I like what you're sharing with us because you're breaking it down so well. And the interesting thing is that majority of us don't think like that.
Okay.
Yeah, majority of us just look at what we have and we think about now. Tukifikiria mbele sana next week. Bora tumemaliza hii mwezi, we are fine. Yeah, so we'll get into the nitty-gritties.
Yes.
Because I want you to help us to look back at the end of 2020 if God allows us to see the end of 2020.
Yes.
And we can say, thank God I listened to that show. I'm a better off person financially now than I was
then.
when the year began.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us? 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. Remember, you are watching the Financial Clinic on this first day of 2020. Welcome to 2020, and thank you for taking the time to tune in to the Jam 316 show today. It's Wednesday, and so Wednesdays we usually have the Financial Clinic, and today we are looking at creating a financial plan for 2020. In studio with me, Wahome Ngari from Citadel Consulting. I was just thinking, are there habits that may deter us from achieving what we have planned to achieve for 2020? Are there some financial habits that you think, if we don't watch out for some of this, they may derail our plan?
Let me say yes. Every year, for a lot of people, we set up New Year resolutions.
Yes.
And we religiously observe them in January.
The first week.
No. We try. You know, we call it January because there's a lot of ja, so we stick to it. Whether it was the gym, whether it was, we actually do those things.
Yes.
Something seems to happen in February. I don't know if it's Valentine. I don't know what to blame for this. But from Valentine. It might be Valentine. Because after that, we drop out everything. And so now what we had thought we'll do, by the time we hit March, April, sounds like it was never ours.
Yes.
We can almost say it wasn't me.
Yes.
But are there habits? Yes, there are. What do you think about money? Money is different things to different people.
Okay.
And if you have to achieve a plan, we're dealing with money.
Yeah.
And so first we must understand basically that money is different things. Yeah, the teacher in school told us it's legal tender, it's a commodity for exchange. Forget the legalities, forget the economics. Let's deal with here and now, where we are. One of the things we have learned over money over time is that money loves movement. Money doesn't like staying in one place.
It's a currency.
The only problem with money, it likes moving to where there's more.
Oh.
It doesn't like staying alone, so it likes moving to where it's more. In fact, some people have told me this is biblical. Those who have, more will be added. Those who have little, even the little be. And this is how we live. If you look at it, a simple example that demonstrates this. When we think about the water we consume and how we pay water, if you're buying from City Hall, you're likely to be paying per unit.
Yes.
A unit is 1,000 liters, which will cost you most expensive, maybe from a borehole, 100 shillings. So that practically means you're buying 1,000 liters for 100 shillings, so you're paying 10 cents.
Yes.
There's a generation that will understand cents because they sold them. 10 cents. Now, in our poorer neighborhoods, people will buy a 20-liter jerrycan for 20 shillings. So practically they are paying a shilling per liter. They're paying 10 times more. Is the money not moving where there is more?
Yes.
So we need to understand that concept of money easily. We need to understand the emotional side of money. Money emotionalizes us all the time. And that is why when we look at the things we do, sometimes we are emotional, We get affected by money. We do things we should not have done. Ask people when they have money, what do they feel? They will tell you excited, happy, generous.
In charge.
In charge. And that takes us in some given direction. And when the money is not there, we're moody, we are grumpy, we are angry, we are stressed. And that takes us in another direction. But money is very personal.
Okay.
While it's so easy for me to tell you my name and where I was born and all those things, they ask me the balance in my bank account.
No.
Even if it was on a gunpoint, I'll sweat. Even to say it. Yes, because it's a very personal thing, and this is how we were brought up. Money you don't discuss on the breakfast table.
No.
You don't talk to adults about money. When there's money, there's money. When there's no money, there's no money. And if you're told there's no money, it's not a debate. You take it like that. Became personal. When we have want to give money to our children, we turn behind and... And we learn that bad habit that even in church we want to put it below the bench, so we can feel which is the 1,000 and which is the 100. I mean, where is God? Do you think God is not present?
Seeing. That's true.
And so we have a lot of habits that make us not achieve our goals. And let's think at how we do shopping, because that's the first problem. That's where we breach it all easily.
Oh.
Now, if you think about shopping, there are people who suffer from impulse buying. And impulse buying means you didn't plan for something, you didn't need it, you don't have money for it, but you actually bought it. Now, you're buying something that you don't need with money you don't have. What have that done? Money that should have gone to something in your plan has not gone. And that's why that has not been achieved. So we need to think about, then when we do money, money has psychology around it, and we have our personalities. And when you think about some personalities, there are people who are more likely to suffer from that. We have a group of people, we like calling them sanguines. They're easy, they're emotional, they like getting to things. They find themselves buying things they don't need. They go to town, shoes know them by name. They actually call them across the street. You can hear your voice, you know. When they see a nice dress or a nice car, they have no way of resisting the temptation. And we all say, if you know that's your weakness, then you know this is going to stay in your way. Part of the things you can actually easily do, have minimal cash on you. Whether it's on your M-Pesa, whether it is cash, walk with minimal money around you. Because for a lot of people who fall to that, the fact that I put in here and I can feel it's eroded, I will just spend it. And that works again. That's a habit that we can actually deal with. There are people who go to town, you have no intentions of buying, and hawkers actually are tempting you. And there are people who are happy to talk to hawkers, and every day when you talk to hawkers, be prepared to buy. And this is how everybody, even when you look at shopping malls and everybody, and we just come through the festive season, they actually put everything in color to emotionalize you, so that you start buying the things that you don't need. Now, if we continue with that habit in 2020, the plan will not work.
You know, these are things we hardly think about.
But that's the reality of life.
Like what you're saying about talking to hawkers.
Yes.
When I really think about it, it's true. It's true.
When you have your children, you know, they make life easier. So they're actually given the items. So the only question you ask is how much? The pesa ngapi? Because they can't get it out of the children. They actually have it. So if you're a person and you see that's your challenge, it's something you need to work around, because it's going to derail your plan. Because like we said, you're using money to buy things you don't need with the money you don't have. Because that money was meant for something else. Now, the other habit that we might want to look at is actually comparison shopping.
Comparison.
Yes, when you go and want to buy, especially bigger things, please shop. Check around what's surprising. Don't fall into the first shop and buy. They are going to a showroom and meet a salesman with a car. And they always have this nice thing of creating scarcity, and they will tell you these cars are only 2 and this model is not even coming again, and they are superior to the one that is coming after this, and this other one was just bought yesterday, and there's another person who's going to buy this one, but if you actually confirm, it will be yours. Now they made it scarce. Then people in sales understand this concept of making things fast. They have 1,000 housing units. They've sold 0. They put a big board, 80% sold. Why? Create scarcity. People will buy it in a hurry.
Because
Now-
people don't want to miss out.
Yes, because people don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
When we are doing that, we actually buy things so expensive, and you're actually going to buy that item on the street. When you walk 4 shops down the line, you find it at half the rate, and you almost feel like taking it back.
Yes. Yes.
What has happened? And if that happens consistent, and sometimes big things, and I see these, you talked about plot maguta maguta, I see
Yeah.
these a lot.
Okay.
They are always made very scarce, and they cost us to buy plots that are in the middle of nowhere that
Yeah.
we cannot even develop,
Yeah.
and that money is stuck. Now, that's how sometimes we don't achieve the
Our
plan.
goals,
That's
yes.
how we don't achieve the plan. Now, the other one, which is easier to think about, is when we go to the supermarket, which is a place we go frequently for
Yes.
bread and milk or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
For some reason, they don't keep that at the entrance.
They never do.
No, they don't.
It's at the far end.
Yes. Why? They want to give you a tour.
That-
Because when you're taking your tour,
yes.
things will keep appealing to you. And when they advertise, they use brilliant, bright colors. And just to make sure that even the sanguine man is well caught up, they bring nicely dressed ladies. Men are visual.
Yes.
So now we can stay in the store longer. As we stay in the store longer to see what they have, we actually end up shopping more. Now, if you think about it, the more time you expose yourself to shopping malls or you go to those places,
Yeah.
and they've designed them in a way that you will actually find yourself staying longer.
Yeah.
And in most of the shopping malls, they actually have a big supermarket at the base,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
And at the end is a coffee house. Because your legs will be too tired, you sit in the coffee house.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah. And the coffee is well priced.
Yes.
But they know children don't love coffee. So what do? The food court is
the
upstairs.
food court is upstairs.
Why is it upstairs? Because the children need to go without the parent. When the children come without the parent, they will actually buy the high budget items.
Then they don't
They
know
will,
the price.
they will experience. They want an experience, so they will not take the normal thing you buy for them. They
Yeah.
will, the one you don't buy.
Yeah.
And so by the time you finish the coffee, you come to where the children are.
Yeah.
Wow. What have they done? But they're your children.
Yeah.
That money that was meant for your plan is gone somewhere. And meanwhile, while you're nappy with them, they will even tell you, Mommy, Daddy, we want to go upstairs, give us tokens, they are games.
Yes.
Now you don't even want to see them, so you send them upstairs. And while they've gone upstairs, if you think about it, you don't want to go and interrupt their
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
So just across the window, there's always this shop where everything is 50% off. It's easier to go in. Just see how things are crafted. There's something we call consumer psychology.
Uh-huh.
And people have taken time to actually make sure that they structure the shop in a way that will be there longer. Because when you're there longer, you spend more. We bring all the ATMs. If you
Yes.
need the ATMs,
Yes.
we will actually make all your bank cards Visa. So it's
Yes.
just a matter of swiping. So that even the money in the bank can now come straight in.
Wow.
And if you don't have money, we'll loan you.
Yeah.
How many apps are available?
That's the other thing.
Yes. How many apps
I know
are
we've done.
available?
I know we've done a show about that, but
Yeah.
talk to us a bit about that
Yes.
because it's become a trap that a lot of Kenyans
Are getting
stuck in.
into.
Yes.
Yes, because, well, we remember what we did initially. We bought on impulse, or we spent money that was necessary in something that was not very necessary.
Yeah.
Then we went out, we bought something without comparison shopping, and we bought something more expensive that we should have bought it. Now we have gone into the shop, we've actually bought things we don't need. And if you think about it, when you leave the house and you're not thought what you want to buy, you actually end up buying what is in the house. You didn't check whether you have sugar
Yes.
or tissue, so you were actually stocking your money in the house. It was not meant to be stocked in the house.
Yeah.
It was meant either to be invested or something else.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, we had powerful lessons from our parents, and we simply seem to have forgotten them. Just think about it when we were in high school. And school is about to open, and you
Yeah.
say, I want this, I want that. You were told simply write them down.
Yes.
And if you had a daddy like mine, he looked at the list and actually closed something. Why are you buying sugar?
Yes.
And cocoa. He didn't understand code power and stuff.
Yes.
And that was cut off. But he was right. That's why we're here. We're still here because that was not necessary.
Yes.
We want to say when we're going shopping,
Yes.
let's think through what we need to buy and make a shopping list. Because that's what our parents taught us.
Yeah.
You were told to make a shopping
Make a
list.
shopping list.
Because a shopping list makes you more deliberate. Achieving your plan is a deliberate effort.
Yeah.
When I go to the shops, I know what I want. Yes, I
Yes.
can have miscellaneous and add a few things.
Yes.
But I'm not, it doesn't matter whether the shop is where. Because normally we said you go get milk at the back. And you know, over time what they do? They rearrange the whole.
Yes.
When you're lost, you will take your trip.
You'll take a tour.
But when you have a shopping list,
Yes.
which you go with and you actually stick in, you will stick. If you don't stick to all those things, let me tell you what will happen. Things that are important that should have done are not going to be done. And because they're not going to be done and they must be done, now that's why we borrow. And we borrow sometimes for a couple of reasons. This is important, should have been done. I didn't do it. I was supposed to pay school fees. And I didn't pay school fees. Now, I can't dare think of my children being sent home.
Yeah.
So whatever the price, I'll place the logbook or whatever else is required. I would not think about the cost of money.
Yeah.
I would not think about anything. I'll get that done. That's one of the reasons. So ideally, we're living beyond our means.
Yes.
When we live beyond our means, we're opening ourselves for those expensive credit. Now, the other thing that gets us into this expensive credit is failure to do something called contingency planning. Anticipating that life is not a flat path.
Yeah.
There'll be bumps.
Yes.
There'll be ups and downs. There are things we don't anticipate and they happen.
Yes.
And when they happen, they normally tend to demand to be addressed now.
Yes.
You are driving to work and the car just stalls in traffic. You can't leave it
You
there
can't
and
leave
walk.
it there. Yes.
So either you're going to call a street side mechanic who will do his own diagnosis,
Yes.
maybe right, maybe wrong, but it will cost money.
Yeah.
Alternatively, the traffic policeman is saying, get it out of here. So he's already calling the breakdown.
Yeah.
And those guys talk cash.
Yes.
And so if I don't have the money, what do? I'll borrow from any source.
Yes.
So you will not even tell me the cost of money. I'll borrow.
Yeah.
I have no contingencies, so I have not prepared. The other contingency is we working normally, nothing wrong happening. We saw this in 2019. Jobs just drop. A company is bought or something happens. We anticipated income next month. Now it is not there.
Yeah.
Life has to go on. Before we find our footing, we'll find ourselves borrowing.
Okay.
Because we've not done contingency planning.
Planning.
Yeah, and sometimes you're saying it's not an employee, you have a nice job, and things happen, life happens. You left it intact last night. When you come in the morning, ashes, fire. We've seen that
Yeah, we've seen that,
in a lot of places.
especially Gikomba.
Yes, and Toy and other places.
Yes.
We're saying contingency planning is bearing in mind that everything is not within our control. If we find a bump, we must have the energy to jump the bump.
Yeah.
Which we are saying is, as part of the planning, we need to have some resources as part of our investment that we can get easily. I need to have some money I can get easily to address these things.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, I will take expensive credit.
Okay.
So I will get into expensive credit because of living beyond my means. Okay. I will get into expensive credit because of impulse buying. I have seen something and I'm feeling the urge to buy it now, and I don't have the money. So you remember I got the SMS and they told me I qualify for so much money.
Yes.
Now it's easier to place
The limit has
this
been
number
increased.
starts a hash.
Yes.
And the money is here and we get it done. So if you do contingency planning, in fact our financial plan will never succeed without the contingency plan. And the contingency plan must be part of the plan. We're saying I want to do these things. If my income stops coming, so what happens?
What happens? Yeah.
And he's saying we need to think around having money that's adequate to pay all our living expenses, all of them, savings, investments, bills, for a minimum of 3 months. Because in 3 months' time, we could have found our footing. In fact, ideally they say 6, but if you have 3, you're somewhere.
You're somewhere.
When we do that kind of planning, we are ready to face tomorrow, and our plan is able to go on.
Wow.
You are talking about habits, and there are still more habits we need to drop.
We'll touch on that. I hope you're getting something even as we begin this brand new year together that you can begin to put to use today where your finances are concerned, so that your financial story in 2020 will be different than what it was in 2019. Happy New Year to you. It is Jam 316 Financial Clinic, talking about creating a financial plan for 2020. In studio with me, Wahome Ngari from Citadel Consulting. I'm just thinking, what about those people who probably one of their desires would be to increase their income in 2020? You know, and for many of us, we are looking at our employer and we are thinking, the Lord, please touch him and niongezee kitu. Yeah. Are there other ways we can start thinking so that we come up with a plan to ensure that by the time we are moving into the year and getting towards the end of the year, we have some extra income that's coming in?
I would say early in the year, that's a big yes.
Okay.
As we start in the year, I think everybody wants more. But everything is not in the control of our employer.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, God grants us 24 hours, and we have many things to do in 24 hours. At most, the employer will only demand 8 of those 24.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somewhere 16 are left.
Yes.
And maybe we're also going to sleep for 8. So we have another 8.
We have another 8.
We can do me time. I can go and do my worship. I can watch tele. I can have time to eat. I can have time with the family. I can go to the gym. I can do commuting from work and back. But 8 hours can't be done by that. There will always be a balanced 3 hours somewhere. And the question is, with that time I have, what is it I can be able to do? In Kenyan speak, we always like talking about a side hustle.
A side hustle, yeah.
And a side hustle doesn't have to be something that gets you to run away from work because you're setting yourself to be fired.
Exactly.
Now, even the ritual you have is going to run away.
Yes.
So one of the things we must do is something that doesn't conflict what your employer wants you to do.
Yeah.
And we have many things at our disposal that we can actually use to create this side hustle. We have knowledge. We need to ask ourselves, what knowledge do I have?
Yeah.
Could be professional knowledge,
Yeah.
it could be academic knowledge, it could actually be working knowledge. We have a lot of skills, and we need to ask ourselves, do I have a skill that I can use? Okay. Some of us have networks, and the question is, how can I be able to work on these networks?
Yeah.
Very quickly, let's think about it. Now, one of the ways you can actually be able to make more money, if you're good at something and you're very good at that, you can actually teach.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can actually teach. And we just come through holiday time and
Yeah.
children are home. Just imagine you're good at playing the piano. Yes, I know you play the piano in church on Sunday. But does that stop you from teaching children on Saturday afternoon?
No,
Will
it
parents
doesn't.
be willing to pay?
Of course.
So you have something that you know that others can benefit. Yes, you're a good accountant, you're a good banker, but there's a college in town where you can spend a few hours and actually train the next generation, and you get paid. So teaching, it's easier to check around and see what can I teach. In your old younger days, you were a karateka. We still need new karatekas. You can train somebody how to do that.
Yeah.
So is there something I can do? Can I teach somebody? Can I get time to teach somebody? And it's not complicated.
Yeah.
I say to ladies, you know how to cook chapati. Very well, you make them brilliant. Your family smiles when the chapatis are there, or
Yes.
mokimo or something. Now, all our young brides, and you had this a lot of time in the
Yes.
wedding, they've been told 1,000 times,
Yes.
the way to a man's heart is through the
Through the
stomach.
stomach.
But they don't know how to make these foods. Who's going to teach them? If you got a 5, 6 of them in your own kitchen on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
they'll pay you for that. So, is there a way? Can I teach? Is there something I can actually teach? That's the way you look at it. And you actually, if you find something, you only need to ask yourself, who is this? Who is teachable? How can I get this to be done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's one way of doing it. Okay. Now you have a skill, and I'm saying, can you speak? Not teach now. Speak.
Speak. Yes.
You very funny. You tell nice jokes. Your friends are laughing. Next
Yes.
time you go to a wedding or to a birthday party, can you opt to be the MC? Surprisingly, they pay MCs.
Yes.
So you
Good
have attended
money.
the party,
Yes.
yet you got some
paid.
payment.
Yeah.
So what is this you have? You can actually, you are a professional, you are an expert in your area. You are a lawyer, you're a doctor. There are just so many people who do a breakfast meeting and they're looking for a professional speaker.
Yeah.
You can actually speak on that. And if you speak on that, I know they will actually send you back to your office with a check. Now, are we seeing ways
Yes.
around this?
Yes.
Can you write? Can you write?
Yeah.
You can write as a columnist. You can actually write a book. Okay, you can write for a magazine.
Yeah.
Again, do you have the skill to write? Now, from your knowledge or from your skills or from your storytelling, can you write? And sometimes, we got interesting stories of our own and we've never told anybody.
Yeah.
If you listen to people we call motivational speakers,
Yes.
what do? They tell their stories.
Yeah.
You have a nice story. Can you package your story well so that you're able to tell it to others? Now, and when we're saying, and if you look at that, there are many ways you can actually put your material in a CD, in a flash disk, and you can actually be able to sell it to people because people will be willing to do it. Are you able to do handcraft? Are you gifted that you can actually be able to do something with your hands? And there are people who are gifted. You can actually be able to do something with your hand, and you're going to sell it. If you look at all these things, you can actually see there is a possibility. Now, if you think you're not polished in that, we say then the next thing you need to invest in is yourself.
Is yourself, yeah.
Now, what knowledge do I need? Is it professional knowledge? Is it academic knowledge? Because I'll tell you, if I'm a junior accountant, I have a way of getting more money from my employer. I'll go and do the professional papers. They're going to make me the accountant.
Yeah.
And when they make me the accountant, they'll pay me something different.
Definitely.
And you know, if they don't give me the job, the guy across the road will. And that guy is going to pay me twice more or three more. So self-improvement is very key. So I can look at my knowledge. I can look at my skills. Yes, I can train, but I'm public shy. Can I get a public speaking course?
Yeah.
And actually now equip myself. So when I go to the wedding, I am the cake matron, and I'll tell the girls not only how the way through the man's heart is the stomach, but I'll tell them I can actually teach you how to make chapati and kaimati and all the other things.
Yeah.
So identifying what is it I need to use what I have.
Wow. I'm hearing voices in my head.
Don't hear voices.
And it's not the voice of the Lord. It's the voice of my producer saying we've run out of time.
Okay.
Yes. What would your parting shot be?
My parting shot is, let's take charge of our finances.
Yeah.
There's nobody will ask you questions about the money you have other than God, because you are a steward.
Yeah.
But we can do better in this new year. This is a year of promise. Forget the air outside. We have spheres of control and spheres of influence. Work on where you have control. And if you work on where you control, by the end of the year, the journey is going to be much better. Invest in yourself. If you actually need to look for financial training programs, do that.
Yes.
At the Personal Finance Academy, we do that.
do that, yes.
So we say to people, take charge of yourself, take charge of your money, ask God to bless you, and you will be blessed because you'll be doing the right thing. And the success is going to be yours. You're going to smile big.
Awesome. Tuma salamu za mwaka mpya. Hapa lazima watu watume salamu.
Nimetuma salamu kwa watu wote. Consolata, my dear, Abigail and Nixon. I really say hello on radio and TV. Yes. Here I am, my friends, the Personal Finance Academy, Citadel, all our clans across the nation.
Yes.
Great year, my fellow countrymen. Great year. Let's do what it takes to make it better for all of us.
Awesome. Yeah. I hope we'll see more of you this year on the Financial Clinic.
We're playing so,
yes.
Because at the Personal Finance Academy, this is what we teach, so be happy to come to the clinic, so that then we can be able to karabati here and there.
Yes.
Yes.
What a way to start the year. Take control of your finances. Know where your money is going. We've been doing quite a bit since mid-December, helping you to get your finances in order. I pray that this year, your financial situation will be different. I'm out of time for our discussion for today.